yourself in the game?
Obviously disappointing, considering the facts of the match. I think at the worst we probably would have gotten away with a draw. But you can wish these things. The score line will never change. But we have ourselves to blame for this really slow start, the unusual slow start that we had. It set us back. Unusual for us to be marking space in the middle, unusual for us to be defending the way we were defending. I think we are one of the teams that are very economical in terms of this. Apart from the 4 goals against Sundowns, the scores have been one there, one. But today we did that, and one of our talking points before the match was to say, let us avoid conceding. First, because one day you may not recover. We play against SuperSport, we score early in the match and they don't recover. We played against somebody else, I think we scored in the 7th minute and people don't recover, and then we need to learn from that, because one day it will be us. That's unfortunate, because sometimes you never really know. Sometimes players look like they have this thing in their minds, and it's going through everyone else's mind, and you just wish you can remove it, and then let them do what they are best at. You can imagine, had we played the way we played in the second half, then maybe the personnel also changed things. I don't know.
You mean personnel in terms of the players?
That we changed. Yeah, the substitutes. And that's why we had an upper hand in the second half.
And what really prompted these subs in the first half? Is it the
recovery, recovery and some playing consistency, because we needed to play, which is something we were not doing very well.
Coach, also you look at that bottom half, it's so compact. Today would have made it a little bit easier for you to stretch a bit away from them.
Yes, which is something that we talked about, and we said, look, it's a big chance to take ourselves away from there, and maybe we are making players too anxious, and maybe we need to ease off, but there is no other thing to do. You cannot say, reality is reality. The reality is that we need to get ourselves up. We can't be happy with 2 matches and all of that. We need to get more matches, and see. We need to get more points, and see how quickly and how far we can get away from the bottom.
Ideally, Coach, where should you be finishing the year in 2024?
That's too early to talk about, because we need to get ourselves away from where we are now. And as soon as we get to a certain point, then we start saying, we are here now. How far do we really want to go? Take it step by step. Take it step by step. The one thing that must not happen is for you to fight those battles at the bottom, because that's heavy.
You created a lot of chances, obviously, Coach, especially during the second half. You even hit the post at some point. Will that be something that you take as a positive out of this match?
We need to score. So a positive is when you score. You hit the pole, it's more like the ball went out at the corner flag. It becomes a goal kick, it's the same. I'm not being too thing, but if we have to score, let's go.
Good. Against Pirates, do you think what you're talking about can be dealt with during the week before that game?
I cannot. I'm going to sound like a prophet if I can. If I do that, let's see how we prepare and who we prepare for Pirates and what kind of personnel we need. Unfortunately, we don't have Mpambaniso now. He's got his 4th yellow, so we need to look at what we get in terms of personnel. They play a bit quicker, so we need to see what we can do against Pirates and have a lineup that will be able to match and be able to win. So let's see.
Coach, obviously you speak about personnel and you have been working with them since you arrived. Now January is closer. I mean, are there some recommendations maybe to add up, or is it work with what you have?
We are suspended from signing. You wrote one of the articles.
No, the club said they are sorting it out. I think.
Well, we'll talk about it when it's sorted out. Obviously, there are people you look at, but it's not easy to get. You know, this period, it's not easy to get quality. You know, when you get players, you get players. Unless you very lucky, very rare occasions where you get something that is very solid.
Coach, that incident with the ball boy, how annoying was that?
This is just people, adults being very silly, you know. And I wouldn't call myself a good father if I teach kids to do things like that. You know, you don't teach. You know, that's why sometimes we take certain things that are very light. You are teaching this child to cheat. Okay, now this child will start cheating at school as well. And what does cheating lead to? At least to stealing, because you are stealing from the game. You are stealing minutes from the game that are valuable to the supporters of football. You know, people pay their money not to watch all these shenanigans, you know, all this nonsense that are being taught to our kids. You know, and these kids are going to be footballers probably one day. Will they want this to happen? You know, so if you're an adult, you must be careful what you're teaching a child to do. These are our kids. Let's groom them very well. Let's teach them to be fair in life. Let's teach them to be honest. It's, you know, the game must not win at all costs and what, and then you do wrong things. Win at all costs, yes, but doing the right things. Don't do wrong things. Don't teach kids small things. You know, and then the next thing you are happy when you get away from this thing and you are shaking hands and you are clapping hands and you are happy because it's more like you're doing a good job. It's not okay. It's not okay for the game. Anything that is untoward in the game, we must try and remove it. If we lose, we have lost, we don't want to do anything untoward. If you lose, you must lose with dignity. Your dignity must stay, so that you don't give anyone or any person a room for criticism. People will criticize you for this and this and that, you know, and it spoils your win.
Coach, your TD is here. How much of an influence has he brought into the team since joining?
It's quite a lot, you know. It's a long way, you know. We're still working on structures of the club, you know, and other things, you know. It's a long way, but at least, you know, I think we are heading in the right direction. You know, a lot of things are well organized, and you know, we arrived here well on time. It's not like people come and then we arrived yesterday and we were here long before that. You know, a lot of those things are sorted, and you know, there is a good working relations within the members of the club. Let me say a better working relation from members of the club, and I think we're heading in the right direction.
Thank you, Coach.
Sharp.